The civil aviation section is very sensitive to the kind of cycles, economic cycles in the global economy. But the recent crisis has had quite a dramatic effect because it's been a very deep crisis and a long-lasting crisis. At the same time, there's been quite significant structural shifts within aviation. We've had the rise of low-fare airlines, which have undercut the legacy airlines with low-cost workers, and the rise of flags of convenience, and offshoring and outsourcing. So really it's been a perfect storm for civil aviation and has quite a fundamental impact on how we do our work moving forward.
There are many issues, and these are all directly related with liberalization and deregulation that we have been going through for the last 3 decades.
Ha precarizado la crisis los trabajos asociados a la aviación civil. Totalmente. Y nos han quitado determinados derechos que ya teníamos consolidados en el convenio. ¿A la seguridad puede afectar? Obviamente. Cuando tú no estás en condiciones saludables, no desempeñas tu trabajo correctamente.
I mean, the employers, the business, their first concern for the time being is the cost reduction. Safety somewhere in the background. And that's why it's important to stay organized and to be represented globally, to make safety first priority, to keep safety first priority.
ILO、あと ICAO への働きかけも非常に重要だと思っています。私たちは今後も協力していきたいと考えています。
Se habló esencialmente del impacto de la crisis económica en el mundo de la aviación civil, el surgimiento esencialmente de 2 fenómenos nuevos, que uno es la instalación ya de las líneas aéreas de bajo costo y el otro gran tema es las líneas aéreas de rápido crecimiento, que son esencialmente las que están instaladas en Medio Oriente. Dentro de este foro de diálogo social, uno de los ejemplos más concretos fue con la aerolínea Norwegian Air Shuttle, que nos permitió graficar el tema de cómo están operando las líneas aéreas low cost.
Vi ser at lavprismodellen som etablert bygger mye av sine kostnadskutt på å splitte opp ansatte i forskjellige selskap, hente inn ansatte fra veldig mange forskjellige land, og gjerne fra land med lav organisasjonsgrad, høy arbeidsledighet, og ved å tilby de ansatte dårligere vilkår enn de egentlig burde ha rett på.
La plataforma de la OIT sirvió para que eso fuera un tema que quedara claro a nivel mundial, que se supiera y que fuera un tema de discusión permanente que sigue hasta hoy día presente en la agenda de la OIT, en la agenda de la ITF.
And what we were looking for is an acceptance by the industry that in fact the evolution of the industry and the changes in the industry had a fundamental impact on workers, and that those concerns had to be accepted and acknowledged and dealt with by the industry.
そうした中で労働者の代表である ITF が国際民間航空の国際的な機関であるICAOに対して私たち働く者の意見をしっかりと伝える場として活用できたことというのは非常に重要であるというふうに考えています。
It was the most successful intervention in the 12 or 13 years that I've been involved with both ITF and ICAO.
It's been very much a learning experience. So we've put 7 papers forward, and I think we could probably look back and say that 6 of our 7 papers have been adopted, which is a pretty fair outcome.
We have to lobby what's called the ICAO Council. We have to lobby them all the time, not just wait for the next assembly. It's a day in and day out at national level, talking to these people, asking them what's happened to these subjects.
A gente precisava organizar os trabalhadores que controlam o tráfego aéreo. Então, através da ITF, nós chegamos à IFATCA e a gente, através da IFATCA, a gente pode participar também com ideias dentro das várias câmaras de discussão que temos na ICAO. Então, isso reanimou os trabalhadores e viu que nós estamos fazendo uma política certa. E, praticamente, em menos de 6 ou 4 meses, nós dobramos o número de afiliados de controladores de tráfico aéreo.
El Comité Regional de Pilotos surge como una necesidad para cubrir el déficit que teníamos los pilotos de representatividad en algunos organismos internacionales. Naturalmente pertenecemos a la Federación Mundial de Pilotos, la IFALPA, que nuclea más de 100.000 pilotos. Ha tenido un rol priorizando lo técnico. Los comités industriales han quedado bastante relegados y estamos enfrentando las banderas de conveniencia. Víctimas de las circunstancias y no dueños de las situaciones, los pilotos decidimos participar activamente con el resto de los trabajadores aeronáuticos.
There is a real requirement at the moment, a necessity for us to organise, to defend and to meet the challenges that we face. And we've had some very, very successful organising campaigns and it's the role of the ITF and it's been a very successful role in helping coordinate those efforts.
ከአይቲኤፍ የሚጠብቀው አይቲኤፍ በዓለም አቀፍ ዙሪያ ያልተደራጁ ማህበራት ቶሎ እንዲደራጁ ነው። ምክንያቱም ያልተደራጁ ማህበራት በበዙ ቁጥር ጉልበታችን እያነሰ ይመጣል።
We changed the name of our union from Air India Employees Guild to Aviation Industry Employees Guild. We also changed our constitution and made provision for workers of all aviation companies to become members of our union. We have now organized the low-cost employees of Air India Express. The entire cabin crew is with us. Similarly, the ground employees of Air India Air Transport Services Limited have been organized. Then we have organized in many foreign airlines, in many aviation companies. So we are fighting it out, and I guess in the coming years, it is going to be even more intense.
L'ITF a été toujours le poumon de la lutte au sein de la SECNA et de l'Afrique tout entière. Nous pensons que nous, au niveau de la SECNA, nous en avons bénéficié. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes constitués grâce à l'ITF, à la fédération des syndicats qui composent tous les 17 pays membres de la SECNA. Donc, nous avons un dispositif plus syndical qui est en train d'être le vis-à-vis des patrons de la SECNA.
The Land Chile organising campaign in Latin America has been an absolute model and a model that really we ought to try and provide and make available to other unions to deal with their organising drives.
Para nosotros, en realidad, el proyecto de la TAM, lo primero que se puede decir es que nos cambió la vida. Nos cambió la vida como sindicato, nos cambió la vida como empresa, nos cambió la vida como trabajadores. Como sindicato significó pasar de ser un sindicato que actuaba de manera muy local, a pequeña escala, con las herramientas escasas que tenía, a ser un sindicato que tiene una visión global.
Nuestro sindicato es el STT, es el sindicato de tripulantes de cabina de TAM Airlines. Nos formamos con mucha dificultad, con mucho miedo. En la empresa están muy mal vistos los sindicatos, en realidad no hay precedentes, somos los primeros. La red LATAM nos dio muchísimas herramientas, contactos importantísimos. En 2 meses o en máximo 3 meses avanzamos lo que solos no hubiéramos avanzado en años.
Third-party providers, non-airlines, but providing airline services, are some of the biggest growers within the industry. These are global companies which require a global response from trade unions and very high levels of cooperation.
For me, alliance work is important for the reason because it's only a first step for mergers and acquisitions. We have seen recent examples in Lufthansa, which has bought up Austrian Airlines and Swiss International Airlines. And the last case was the Iberia-British Airways takeover.
Når firmaerne bliver multinationale, så må vi også have organisationer, der går på tværs af landegrænser, og det gør jo ITF.
Anderzijds op het conflict bij Swissport in België in mei, waar dus 4 dagen, en dat werd wereldnieuws, waar 4 dagen de luchthaven plat lag door het conflict van Swissport. En daar hebben we ook dankzij het ETF informatie kunnen spreiden, contacten kunnen leggen en samenwerkingsverbanden opstellen met vakbonden over de rest van Europa en ook de wereld om te delen hoe Swissport eigenlijk werkt. En ook vandaag nog hebben we dus vergaderingen.
A gente passou por processo de privatização, passou não, estamos passando por processo de privatização dos aeroportos brasileiros. E as operadoras que estão indo para o Brasil são a maioria, né, operadoras estrangeiras. Isso, através da ITF, a gente consegue chegar a modelos de concessão de aeroportos, como o caso da Espanha, onde há menos injustiça para os trabalhadores. No caso do Brasil, por exemplo, nós conseguimos 7 anos de estabilidade para todos os trabalhadores sem mandar ninguém embora.
ก็เริ่มจากตอนแรกเนี่ยพนักงานเอาซอร์สที่ปฏิบัติงานให้กับบริษัทการบินไทยเนี่ยไม่ได้มีสวัสดิการต่างๆนะครับโดยหลังจากนั้นมาเนี่ยด้วยการสนับสนุนจาก ITF 3นะครับแล้วก็ได้รับการช่วยเหลือจากสหภาพแรงงานและรัฐวิสาหกิจการบินไทยนะครับที่ช่วยเหลือมาตลอดจนทำให้คนงานของสแปนเนี่ยได้มีสวัสดิการที่ดีและได้มีสหภาพแรงงานไว้คอยต่อสู้กับนายจ้างครับ
Logramos sindicalizar a los compañeros de HL y gracias a esto se le han mejorado las condiciones. Esta misma técnica que utilizamos para DHL nos ha servido para otras empresas. Hemos organizado la empresa Blast, que es una empresa de handling en Panamá, y estamos en aras con otros compañeros de FedEx, de UPS, que mantienen el mismo terror, el mismo pavor que mantenían los compañeros de DHL.
It's very important that we organize a company like Delta because it's going to set a precedence. There are other huge corporations in this country, in the United States, that are hoping to go union. And if we can get through one of the most anti-union companies like Delta Airlines, this will be a win for the labor movement.
We are very positive about the rise of some of the low-fare airlines because they give access to people to flying who never had that access. One of the biggest airlines in the world is a low-fare airline, which is Southwest Airlines. It's probably one of the most unionized airlines that we have. So the new model is not incomparable with trade union organization.
Southwest Airlines is a very labor-friendly or employee-friendly, I won't say labor-friendly, but they have developed pretty good working relationships with their labor unions. Currently, I'm working with our international union and I'm working on flight attendant organizing. And we have organized about 600 flight attendants at Allegiant Airlines, and they are very much like Ryanair. They basically have tried to format their whole company after Ryanair. And quite frankly, we have been almost 3 years in negotiations and we don't have a collective bargaining agreement yet. We're working very hard, and at the end of the day, we would like to be able to establish a good working relationship with the company, but the company is just philosophically anti-union.
The civil aviation industry will continue to grow, and it's important to work for both a sustainable industry and definitely for a sustainable workforce by focusing on occupational health, safety and conditions in general for the workers.
The International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, had begun work on cabin crew training guidelines. And ICAO agreed that ITF should be there to represent the cabin crew. These training programs include items like dangerous goods, cabin health, aviation security, safety management systems training, and fatigue risk management. And so we feel that this has been very important to help to raise the standards of cabin crew professional training that are needed by all.
ባለፉት 4 ዓመታት ውስጥ ከአይቲኤፍ ጋር ሆነን ኤችአይቪ ኤድስ ላይ በኤችአይቪ ኤድስ በአፍሪካ በተለይ በሀገሬ በኢትዮጵያ ዋና ጉዳይ ስለሆነ የፌዴሬሽኑ ከስራ አመራሩ ጋር በመሆን ከማኔጅመንት ቲም ጋር በመዋቀር ከአይቲኤፍ ጋር በማድረግ ከሰራናቸው ስራዎች ውስጥ ዋነኛ የሚባለው ከሰራተኛና ማህበራዊ ጉዳይ ሚኒስቴር ጋር ከኮንፌዴሬሽን ጋር ከፌዴሬሽን ጋር ሆነን ከአሰሪዎች ፌዴሬሽን የጋራ መግባቢያ ሰነድ ሜሞራንደም ኦፍ አንደርስታንዲንግ ተፈራርመናል። በዚህ ሜሞራንደም ኦፍ አንደርስታንዲንግ የተነሳ በየሰራተኛ ማህበሩ ላይ ዌልነስ ሴንተር አቋቁመን ሰራተኞች በራሳቸው እንዲረዱ አድርገናል።
Es absolutamente necesario que ETF y ITF coordinen sus campañas para articularlas de manera internacional y conseguir el éxito necesario que todos deseamos.
tror att det är viktigt att vi också håller emot när det gäller försämringar för ungdomar. Även om vi har en hög ungdomsarbetslöshet så betyder det inte att ungdomarna ska gå med på vad som helst för att få ett jobb.
All these young workers, their whole thinking is different, their whole approach to life is different. And traditional trade union thinking does not really impress them. And through ITF, we've had conferences and seminars to create awareness about trade union for them. How to raise disputes before the labor commissioner, how to use the labor machinery, how to defend employees who have been charge-sheeted. So all aspects of trade union, we teach them.
لقد لوحظ خلال السنوات الأربعة الأخيرة اهتمام كبير من الطيران المدني بشؤون المرأة وقضاياها بشكل عام، إنه العمل على تنظيم النساء في تلك المناطق، فظهرت عندنا نقابات متعددة كانت القيادات فيها نسائية.
ITF means I myself. The strength of the union in the grassroots means it's ITF. You know, the strength of the chain is depends on the ring. Each rings are strong, all the chains are totally strong. Similar to that, in the grassroots level, our linkages, our empowerment is very high. We can make the strong ITF.
The ITF is an incredible tool for unions that they have available when they need global solidarity. The union in the UK that does ground handling for United Airlines was having a dispute and they were on strike. And their work in the UK was being done by scabs. We informed United Airlines in the United States that we would not handle any of that struck work. If an aircraft was loaded in the UK by scabs, when it landed in the United States, it would not be touched. Further, we were not going to load any planes that were destined to the United Kingdom that may be unloaded by scabs. That pressure that we were able to help put on United Airlines is what led to a settlement for the UK Union.
2012 yılında Türkiye'de hükümet yeni bir yasal düzenleme yaparak havacılık sektöründe grev yapmayı pratik olarak imkansız hale getiren Hava İş Sendikası ITF ile hemen ilişkiye geçti. ITF hemen Uluslararası Çalışma Örgütü ILO'yu bilgilendirdi ve ILO çok hızlı bir biçimde Çalışma Bakanlığı'yla ilişkiye geçti ve bu tasarı derhal geri çekildi. Fakat daha sonra hükümet yeni bir girişimde bulundu ve bu sefer grev hakkını tamamen yasaklayan bir yasa geçirdi 2012 yılının Mayıs ayında ve ITF çok büyük bir uluslararası kampanya başlattı. Uluslararası baskı altında grev hakkı hükümet tarafından 5 ay sonra geri verildi.
BA, under the pretense of cost cutting, basically sought to diminish our terms and conditions to non-existence. It was a dispute that went on for best part of 2 years till we reached resolution with the employer. The ITF was of fundamental importance to our dispute because of the moral support that the ITF and all of the trade unions in the ITF gave us. That kept our people going at the darkest times. And I get the lesson that we learned, and the lesson I think for all trade unionists is keep on fighting. Even when the darkest days, keep on fighting.
International solidarity is very important and it's a big role in our struggle in Palea. Palea keeps stronger because of ITF solidarity.
We will continue the fight against contractualization and in solidarity with all the workers worldwide. Viva all working class!
Ang laban ng Palea!
Ay laban ng lahat!
Y me parece que hoy es el comienzo de una nueva etapa en el sindicalismo colombiano, que por eso también lo estamos acompañando desde Argentina, Paraguay, Brasil, Chile, Perú, Ecuador, Salvador, Panamá y del resto de los países de Latinoamérica.
Essa é uma fase importante onde o projeto Latam se solidariza, se solidifica.
La familia de la ITF ha logrado con éxito planear y desarrollar estos resultados. El futuro está en nuestras manos. Nosotros sabemos cómo hacerlo. Hagámoslo.
At the heart of everything that we do and the way that we approach any issue within the ITF is a sense of fairness. Whether you're a worker who's pushing an aircraft in London or whether you're a worker who's pushing an aircraft in Beijing, the sense of what you do, what you get paid for, how you're treated, your voice at work, for us is the same. We're the same workers in the same industry doing the same job. And in essence, we need to have the same fairness and the same justice. We don't want to impose a single model, but we do want to ensure that workers throughout the world have the same rights. And social justice and social fairness is absolutely crucial to that, and it's built into everything that we do.